There's a time in every YouTuber's life where they get to 1K on YouTube, and lo and behold, I just got to 1K. So as a way to celebrate this, I decided to let you guys send me around over 40-something questions for me to answer. They range from stuff about me, to opinions of mine, to stuff I do, and other projects of mine I don't really talk about on this channel. So let's start with question 1. What SpongeBob episode's hate is the most forced? Personally, I think it's Squiddiot Box. The episode itself is a pretty fun spin on the original Idiot Box episode, and it's cool seeing how these two episodes interpret imagination. I'd say the episode is fine for what it is, but a lot of people I see that talk about this episode really don't like it, and I can't really understand why. Like, obviously I'd respect your opinion if you didn't like the episode, but to me, I think it's a pretty fun time all around. What's the best tale from a gutter you told? Now, for those of you who are unaware of Tales from the Gutter, which is the proper title, and by unaware I mean a majority of my audience, it's a web show I make from time to time on the Studio Gutter channel with a couple of my buddies. The show is a loose anthology that kinda hops around the city of Guttersville and hones in on either people dealing with horrible people or the horrible people themselves. The runtime for each episode ranges from 5 to 11 minutes, and you could tell on screen the show isn't really animated, but we do try to animate when we can. Now that I explained the show, I'd say the best episode we did is probably episode 5. It's our longest episode, and it's one I had a lot of fun making. I really like writing and playing asshole characters, and the main character of this episode, LD92, is the perfect example of that. He's both deplorable, delusional, pathetic, all the trademarks of a primo gutter person, which is, you know, the species they are. I also really like the insane directions we take in this episode, from YouTube pranks, to killing babies, to twerking in a cave. It's the funnest episode we worked on so far. Most overrated and underrated episodes from each season and why. I feel like the person who wrote this didn't understand that this question can easily be its own video. I'm not gonna go too in depth with this because we have over 40 questions to get to, so I'll start with the ones I think are overrated, and keep in mind I don't think overrated equals bad. Like, something overrated is more about how people talk about the episode than the actual episode itself. Like, a great episode can easily be overrated. And also keep in mind, I'm gonna just stick with the main show, cause there isn't really any overrated episode of Camp Coral, and I'm not really sure about the Patrick show. So, with that being said, let's start with season 1. Pizza delivery. Great episode, but calling it the gold standard is way too much. Now granted, it was one person who said that, but level with me here. The internet is full of people who can't form their own opinion, and I'm sure a chunk of them watched that Nerdstalgic video. So there's probably people going around thinking Pizza Delivery is the best episode of SpongeBob, and that Nerdstalgic doesn't plagiarize his videos. Band Geeks. No, Patrick, season 2 isn't the second coming of Christ. Season 1 of the show wasn't either. I still agree with my old video about Band Geeks. It's a good episode of the show, but I think the show has done better. House Fancy comes to mind regarding this. I think the humor in that episode is better, not just because I really like the dry humor from Paul Tibbitt's run of the show, but also because the jokes in that episode aren't repeated ad nauseum online like Band Geeks. I also think Squidward winning on accident is a funnier outcome than Squidward winning off of SpongeBob's hard work. I still believe people online repeating the jokes in Band Geeks all the time still affects how I see the episode, because like I said in that video, the more times you see a joke or hear a joke, the less funnier it gets over time. The jokes in Band Geeks are pretty run-of-the-mill for season 2. I think a real standout gag is probably the blimp scene.
I want to see some spinning! Flag twirlers, let's move! Come on, move!
But stuff like, is mayonnaise an instrument? Or big BT claws are pretty okay, all things considered, but a toilet crawling out of the bathroom begging Squidward to kill it is so much more absurd and funny than either of those two jokes, and SpongeBob is an absurd show, so it works. Also, Sweet Victory being misinterpreted over time as this serious, big, epic moment in the show's history, and not the funny parody joke that it is, makes me kinda sad. But at the end of the day, who am I to tell people what to think? And there you have it! I practically remade my Band Geeks video. God bless us, everyone. Krusty Krab training video. It's a fantastic episode, not my favorite of the season, but I can see why people like it so much. Hell, I like it a lot. Season 3 is one of my favorite seasons, so I do think some episodes are better than this one, but this episode is a good one for sure. Have You Seen This Snail? Another fantastic episode. I do think the sad bits here get taken a bit more seriously online than they should. Like, the episode itself doesn't take itself seriously, but like I said with Sweet Victory, who am I to judge? But, and you'll hear me say this a lot, I also think there's better episodes this season. Lost Mattress. Pest of the West. Good special, but I can easily think of 10 episodes this season better than this one. In fact, Friend or Foe, Rise and Shine, Crabs a la Mode, Good Ol' What's His Name, The Crusty Sponge, Sing a Song of Patrick, Roller Cowards, Bucket Sweet Bucket, Slimy Dancing, and Goo Goo Gas. There, that's 10 better episodes. Sandcastles in the Sand. Mr. Enter was nice to this episode back in the day, so people online are more prone to liking it. I like it too, I think it's pretty great. I'm just upset because I really don't want to agree with Mr. Enter. I do like Patrick ripping his skin off though, that's pretty funny. Enchanted Tiki Dreams. Good, but there's better episodes this season. Planet of the Jellyfish. Also good, but there's better episodes this season. Mall Girl Pearl. I found it to be a pretty boring episode and way too wordy for my taste. The latter half of Season 9 is really wordy sometimes, and I don't really like that. This episode was also neck and neck with Sandy's Nightmare as my least favorite of the season, but Sandy's Nightmare ended up being a bit more unfunnier, so that won out. Honestly, the later half of Season 9 is kinda glazed too much online, not gonna lie. Like, I like it, but there's better seasons of Vincent and Mark's run. Mimic Madness. Good episode, but it feels like the only Season 10 episode that's really talked about. Squid Noir. Fantastic episode, but I could think of better ones. Rusty Concessioners. Good episode, but the sister episode's way better. Dopey Dick. Good episode, but Friendiversary's also in this season, and yeah, I like that one better. Tango Tangled. I didn't care for it that much. Like, it's fine at the end of the day, but people really like this one, and I just don't see the vision. And some of those people really like to fixate on the scene with Susie shaking her hips, cause, oh, sex. And I just don't give a shit. A Fish Called Sandy. This was a pretty good episode, but obviously more people talk about the art direction here more than the actual jokes. I also don't think people understand that this isn't really written like a Season 1 episode. It's more written like all the other episodes this season, cause, shocker, it's a Season 15 episode. It just looks like Season 1 up until they give up towards the end. And as for Season 16, I can't really think of an overrated episode this season. Maybe Go Fetch, but I don't fucking know. So I'll move on to the underrated episodes, but to prevent me from repeating myself, just know all the underrated episodes I list here are good, they just need to be talked about a bit more. The Paper, I'm with Stupid, Krabbyland, Ghost Host, To Save a Squirrel, Professor Squidward, Greasy Buffoons, A Friendly Game, Don't Look Now, SpongeBob's Place, Ink Lemonade, Jolly Lodgers, Mandatory Music, Squidiot Box, Wary Gary, and Gorilla Soup Day. That's all of my picks for an underrated episode, so now we can finally move on to the next question. What would you consider the worst SpongeBob episode from pre-movie? Easy question, it's Dumped. Dumped isn't that funny of an episode, and when it does start to get funny, the episode ends. Is it the worst episode of the show? But it's definitely the worst episode of that era. Why is your name Fartsmacker, eh? Well, my name is Fartsmacker, and I got the name through what I think is a pretty interesting chain of events. Whether it's interesting to you is, I guess, up to you. Originally, my name was Fartknocker. My mom would call me a Fartknocker sometimes because she watched a lot of Beavis and Butthead as a kid. I also watched Beavis and Butthead quite a bit, so I made that my username. Things were going swimmingly until a friend of mine told me that one of the definitions for Fartknocker was for a homosexual man. I always knew Fartknocker meant a stupid person, but I never knew it also meant that as well. Now, first of all, I'm not gay, Greg, and second of all, I'm not sure if my username should be a word used to make fun of gay people. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I was overreacting a lot at the time, because no one on God's green earth uses the word Fartknocker to make fun of gay people. At least not in modern day, of course. But the possibility of that being an issue is what scared me. So while trying to think of a new name, I saw an episode of Family Guy on TV, ironically the one about gay marriage, and Adam West shows off a statue of the Sugar Smacks frog. Now, smack is a pretty funny word, so I took this as a sign that my new name will include that word. So I replaced the knock part of my name with smack, and boom, Fartsmacker became my new name. I noticed some people like to overreact to my name like it's some fetishy or weird name, and that makes me kinda sad and a little bit peeved. Like, yeah, my name is weird, but it's supposed to be the fun weird, not the fetish weird. Honestly, I feel like it's more on you at that point if you think my name has that type of connotation. What do you think is the best SpongeBob character? I'd guess I picked Plankton. I don't really have anything complex to say. I just find him funny, and I really like how he's written on the show, especially in Paul Tibbitt's run. The dry humor really works with Plankton's character, I feel. Waffles or pancakes? I like both, but if I had to pick one, I'd pick pancakes. Would you do reviews on other cartoons? I do plan to at some point. One video I have planned is about a Dino Squad episode. Spoiler alert, the series isn't good, but the episode I plan on talking about is an interesting one. Also, I do want to talk about other shows I enjoy, like Family Guy for example, but only if I have something I really want to say about it. What would be your top 5 SpongeBob episodes? Alright, let's go from 5 to 1. Number 5, Mustard Oh Mine. Number 4, Can You Spare a Dime? Number 3, Dying for Pie. Number 2, Pineapple Fever. And number 1, The Lost Mattress. You can watch my thoughts about them in the SpongeBob retrospective video I made, but if you already watched them, then you know how I feel about them. What music you bump? As long as it doesn't hurt my ears like Seabat, for example, then I'll listen to anything. Rap, country pop, I don't really care as long as it sounds good. But if I had to recommend a song, it'd be Livin' La Vida Loca. Do you watch any anime? No, I don't. I don't watch any anime. Sorry about that. If there's one like SpongeBob, maybe I'd watch it. Do you watch any live action shows? I watch quite a few. Ted, Always Sunny, Key and Peele, Jackass, 1,000 Ways to Die. FYI, if someone can upload that last one in full to the Internet Archive, I'd be really grateful. And as a kid, I remember watching Incredible Crew on Cartoon Network, and FYI, if someone can upload that in full to the Internet Archive, I'd be really grateful. Are you going to more retrospectives on other shows? Either shows that also mean a lot to you, or shows that would be new to you? I'm not sure. Those videos take a while to make, and I'm not super dedicated to other franchises to make them willy-nilly. The only retrospectives I have planned are the SpongeBob Update one and the Looney Tunes movie one, where I talk about Space Jam Back in Action, Space Jam A New Legacy, and Day the Earth Blew Up. The SpongeBob one is going to be the next video I do, and the Looney Tunes one is going to be sometime before August, so I don't really feel like talking about Coyote vs. Acme. As for this question, how's progress on the Looney Tunes video coming along? Do you plan on reviewing the entire classic filmography? I have the script finished, and like I said, I only plan on talking about the films I listed, cause that'd just be easier on me. And the reason I didn't make the Looney Tunes video back then is because of both burnout at the time and college also taking up quite a bit of my time. And as for the question, will you review Search for SquarePants soon, because I really want to know your thoughts on it, that'll be in the SpongeBob Update retrospective. Overall, I only really want to make those 2 retrospectives, and I'll only really make a retrospective if I really want to make one. And as for doing a retrospective on a new show, absolutely not. No way, Jose. What's something you want to see more out of the SpongeBob community? Less toxicity and less using terms that suck. Toxicity in that people are always too damn negative, and toxicity in that people are always too damn positive. Not like how I am in that I enjoy the show for what it's worth, but more how people beg others to watch new episodes sometimes. I don't see it as much nowadays, but I remember seeing it a lot a year ago. I also don't like terms like Squidward torture porn, Patrick is a prick, and Scumbob. They're childish, and it makes you look immature if you genuinely use them in critiques. I also don't want to use the pre-movie, post-movie, post-sequel era names anymore. I avoided those in my retrospective because no other fucking fandom uses those terms, and I avoid using them here because I find Hillenberg's run, Paul Tibbitt's run, and Vincent and Mark's run to be better names for these eras of the show. Have you played any of the SpongeBob games? What are your favorites? I played a few, and my favorites are Truth or Square, Creature from the Krusty Krab, Bumper Subs, Cosmic Shake, and Titans of the Tide. Favorite item from the Chum Bucket? Chum Nuggets. You like Taco Bell? Sometimes, but they fuck up my stomach. No. What is your biggest fear for SpongeBob? My biggest fear would be the show being rebooted, having said reboot look like season 1, and having it be written like how Twitter people and cartoon reviewers from 2010 think SpongeBob should be. That and having the characters be recasted, those are my biggest fears. Favorite indie game? Probably Reimagine the Game. I played it a lot back in the day, and it's a game that I still find pretty fun. Even if it didn't age super well, but, you know, that's kind of how the internet was back then. If you'd want to see me do a Let's Play of it, you know, you'd say so in the comments. Do you have a Sonic OC? No, but let's take the time to make one. See, his name is Dodger the Duck, cause the duck dodgers. These next two are compliments, so thank you guys for enjoying the videos, and I hope you're enjoying this one too. What font do you use? The Spongebob one. Well, the Spongebob fonts I use are SpongeBoy TT1 and Ed Interlock. And as an FYI, do not use Krabby Patty font or sometime later. Those are crappy fonts. Are you real? I like to think I am. What's your favorite SpongeBob food? Could range from the Sponge on the Run cereal, to the 2004 Candy Airhead, to the regular old SpongeBob popsicle. Okay, first of all, I wasn't alive to eat that Airhead. I was born in 2005. But you know what? Let's do an unscripted tier list. Okay, we're gonna start with the General Mills cereal. It was disgusting. I did not like it. It was like really grainy Captain Crunch. It was disgusting. I think I already said it was disgusting. It doesn't matter. It's fucking horseshit. Bikini Bottom Cooler? I think it's like an energy drink or something. I'm not sure. I got it at 5 and below, and it was pretty good. It tasted like a pineapple Fanta, and that was one of the SpongeBob things they had, so, yeah. A tier for the mac and cheese, because it's mac and cheese. A tier for the fruit snacks, because they're fucking fruit snacks, and, you know, what are you expecting from fucking fruit snacks, you know? The, Wendy's meal. Wendy's is good. Like, Wendy's is fine. The Frosty was pretty good. The sauce was just kind of spicy, I guess. Not like, you know, I couldn't handle it, but like, you could tell it was spicy. It's just, it was kind of disappointing as a SpongeBob meal. Kelpo. I put this in S tier. I enjoyed the cereal. I never expected to like corn puffs as much as I did, but fuck, I like corn puffs after this, you know? Gummy Krabby Patty, S tier. I ate these a lot as a kid. I still eat them from time to time now. Just the best SpongeBob candy out there. The Krabby Patty from Burger King. That was bomb. The drink wasn't that great, but the tater tots, the Whopper, especially the fucking pie was like great. It was genuinely one of the best things I've eaten at a Burger King, which is surprising because Burger King is like C tier fast food. Maybe B tier, depending on the location. It's like B to C tier fast food, depending on the location. This was A tier food from Burger King, and I didn't expect that. The popsicle, that was S tier. I never had the SpongeBob popsicle for the longest time because I just didn't know what stores were selling it. But I found one at a Goodwill when I was up in Minnesota, and I ate it. It was pretty good. The 1 pounder gummy Krabby Patty. I think that needs like a new tier. Let's name this tier fucking Behemoth. That's not how you spell behemoth, but that's what we're gonna call it. Behemoth. I'll make it purple. This was a behemoth. I kind of underestimated how much is in gummies. Like, I forget how dense gummies can get, because I thought I was gonna eat this and like finish it off in like 3 days. It took me over 2 weeks to finish this fucking Krabby Patty. When I took a bite out of it, like just a big fucking bite, that was fucking magical. That was something I've always wanted to do as a kid. And then I was just, I caught myself just fucking gnawing on it for 2 fucking weeks. Cause, you know, why waste a fucking gummy that you spent $10 on? You know, if you bought it, you might as well fucking eat it. And I gnawed on cold gummy for 2 weeks. But I don't regret it. I think this needs to be a thing people experience in real life. Just gnawing on cold gummy for over 2 weeks because you don't want to waste food. I noticed you often say you're a voice actor. What projects have you done? Just Tales from the Gutter at the moment. I want to do other projects, but I don't really get contacted often, and there's nothing at the moment right now that really tickles my fancy, so yeah. I am a voice actor on the web show Star Stormers Revamp, but they only got me to voice the bus driver, and I fucked up my line delivery in that episode, so hoping I get to voice more on the show, but that's kinda up to them. Do you plan on doing more Sonic vids? Maybe. One video I had in mind was to redesign all the classic Sonic characters, you know, show off my artistic chops. Might do that after the retrospective, or after I rank all the 3D SpongeBobs, or fuck it, even before I do all that. It really depends, because that sounds like a pretty easy video to make, all things considered. Is it sure hard being Preggers? I mean, did you not see how hard it was for him in the episode? It's pretty hard. What do you think about SpongeBob taking over Nickelodeon's schedule? I don't watch cable anymore, but I guess that's kind of cool. Go Team SpongeBob! Team South Park or Team Drawn Together, and why? I like both shows, but South Park is a lot more consistently funny than Drawn Together. Although I do appreciate Drawn Together just doing shit because they think it's funny. But overall, Team South Park, I guess. Is the moon made out of cheese? No. Top 5 best Family Guy characters, let's go! Okay, we're gonna do from 5 to 1 again. Mort, Carter, Stewie, Adam West, and Peter. What are some of your other favorite shows? I know you've been primarily a SpongeBob channel, but is there any potential for you to talk about other long-running shows? I like a lot of shows, but I guess some of the immediate ones would be like Family Guy, American Dad, Key and Peele. I also like Courage, Chowder, Animaniacs, Rocco, Fairly Odd Parents, Looney Tunes Show, Ted's pretty fucking funny.
Can I get some goddamn help here? Where's the fucking dinner aisle? This box has a picture of what I want.
But like I said, I'll only make a video on something if I have something I really want to say on it. Favorite SpongeBob plushies? This one. Fave DreamWorks movie. I guess Captain Underpants because I grew up with the books a lot as a kid, and seeing it get made into a movie was really great. And the movie's funny, so, you know, it has that. What's your favorite, or just one you really like, cartoon besides SpongeBob? Probably Family Guy. I've watched the show a ton since I was a preteen, and it's probably my second favorite cartoon behind SpongeBob. I am kind of upset with how the show is now, because a lot of the newer episodes from season 23 and 24 have just been pretty boring for me, all things considered. So I'm hoping the show gets funnier, because it's not easy being a Family Guy fan, I tell you what. What's your favorite Pixar movie and worst? I guess my favorite would either be Toy Story 2 or Monsters, Inc., and so far I don't really have a least favorite Pixar movie to be honest, but I do have a funny story about a Pixar film I saw in high school. Now, I was in art class, and we had to do our semester test. Now, classes were around 1.5 hours long because of that, so my art teacher, who was the best art teacher I ever had, told us that our semester test would be to draw a character from Luca. Now, I never watched Luca beforehand, because I saw from the trailers, and I saw from, like, literally everything, that film wasn't gonna be for me. And I was right. Like, overall, the film was fine, but I was kind of out of it the whole time, because I didn't even want to watch the fucking film. And I couldn't even distract myself, because our teacher wanted us to actually watch the film. And I'm gonna level with you, I don't really like being forced to watch something, especially if it's something I don't want to watch. That's why I haven't talked about the SpongeBob musical on this channel, because I'm not gonna force myself to watch it, and if I do, I know I'm not gonna have a good time with it, and it's gonna fuck up what I have to say about it, because I was in a pissy mood the entire time. Now back to the story, I did say the test was to draw a character from Luca, and considering how I didn't give a shit about Luca, I had to do like a technicality. So I drew Donald Duck, because Donald Duck appears in the movie as a plush, as like a little cameo. So I drew that version of Donald Duck, and I submitted it. And the teacher really liked my drawing and accepted it, even though Donald wasn't an actual character, but it worked and I passed, so thank you Pixar animator that snuck in a Donald Duck Easter egg. I got to pass art class because of you. Can I work on Tales from the Gutter? I have been considering opening applications for people to work on Tales from the Gutter for a while now. We have like 6 writers, 4 board artists, and 1 cleanup guy, and I'm included in all 3 of those. Granted, 3 of our board artists can animate and have animated in the past, but I also don't want to double their workload, so I feel like just getting dedicated animators would be the right call to make. The only issue is that I can't really afford to pay people. Tales from the Gutter doesn't make any money, and I don't really want to profit off the show for the time being. So that kind of makes things harder on us, I feel. But if you are interested in helping out with animation, I'll include an application in the description, and you know, me and the crew can comb through it for quality control reasons. Will Tales from the Gutter ever collab with Pyro Kart Racers 2? I know you wrote that one, Pyro Lego. In fact, I have a question for you, Pyro. Why does your Twitter account look like this? Since you like Nintendo, do you like other cartoon reviewers like Ella Spark? Ooh. As for Ellis Mark, I watch his videos from time to time, but not really any of his Spongebob ones. I feel like me and him want different things out of Spongebob, and some of his comments about the show are kinda corny. I know when he released his Hillenburg video, my heart sank real bad, cause I thought it was gonna be another Pie Guy Rules thing, but it was a pretty good video all things considered, so kudos to him. I would've liked it if he used the $1 million sketchbook for research, so yeah. So far, Nintendo is the only YouTuber besides me to use it, and that's why he's the GOAT. As for other cartoon reviewers, I watch Squirrel Tactics from time to time for his King of the Hill videos, and lately I've been watching Toonerific Tariq for his Family Guy videos, and they're pretty good. I saw his recent Who Can Understand Stewie video, and he did a pretty good job with researching everything, and it was a fun watch all around. Play Pizza Tower, or else I'm gonna smack your fart. Yeah, that's not very nice. When Tale of Gutter coming back? I'm not sure. I do want to make a short some point this month by myself to get back into the groove of making the show, but I don't want to fully come back until we have more people to help out. And I know I brought up animators earlier, but I could use more board artists, voice actors, So those positions will also be in the application, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. Can you sing? I can. Listen to this. Everyone from Florida is stupid. Everyone from Florida is dumb. I might not be the brightest guy, but next to them my IQ's high. If they had guitars, here's how they strum. Thoughts on Has-Been Hotel? I have no desire to see this show in my lifetime whatsoever. No. If you made another show that doesn't have any gutter people, what would it be? I'm not sure is the thing. Maybe a sketch comedy show like Key and Peele, Mr. Show, or Robot Chicken. I feel like something in that ballpark would be fun to do. Because you could do a lot with a sketch comedy show like parodies or just making fun of stuff that you just want to make fun of. Honestly, I'd say in a way Tales from the Gutter is kind of like a sketch comedy, but instead of multiple sketches an episode, each sketch is an episode. But yeah, I feel like I'd just do a pure sketch comedy just without any Tales from the Gutter stuff in it. Do you have any stories you'd want to share? This question is a godsend because I've always wanted to share this story. Now, this story takes place in junior high. We had this thing called advisory, where we'd stay in one classroom all day and get caught up on all of our online work. Now, I was working on some of my schoolwork, but then my teacher announces to the class that, a whole nother class is moving into our classroom, so their teacher can head out for a minute. So a bunch of students came into the classroom, and at the moment I was sitting by myself because while I was friendly to other people at school and they were friendly back, I didn't really socialize a whole lot, and I also like the extra room. And I also like the extra room a full desk would give me. I could just lay out all my stuff and just do whatever the fuck I want. And this kid sat next to me. He didn't even ask if he could sit next to me, he just did. And he pulled out his Chromebook from he picked it up by the screen. And he was playing the shit out of Papa Burgeria. Like, he was making those burgers like crazy. Later on, I found out that this kid was like a douchebag, and he was picking fights with people and stuff. He was just really nasty. I don't know why, because he was pretty short, and not to be mean, but he was also really rotund. He was short and rotund like Mario, so I didn't really understand why he picked fights with people, because he lost every fight he was in. I even saw him lose a fight once, and he was just left on his back like a turtle, and he just couldn't get back up because he had his backpack on. It was really sad to watch. But, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I'm gonna reenact the conversation we had. This voice will be his, and this voice will be my voice, because, it's my voice. What are you gonna be when you grow up? I'm not sure. Maybe an animator or an illustrator. I'm gonna be a Twitch streamer. Right? Do you play Fortnite? Not really. You should hop on Fortnite. I play it all the time. I have so much fun. Alright. I plan on streaming it on Twitch with my Fortnite girlfriend. Fortnite girlfriend? Yeah, I met her on the game. So, do you talk to her on call with microphones and all that? No, we don't. But Ninja, I'm gonna be just like him, and I'm gonna stream Fortnite with my girlfriend, and we're gonna make a lot of money doing that. It's gonna be so awesome. I'll leave you to that. Eventually, he went back to his classroom, and besides seeing him lose fights and all that, I never really saw him again. I don't know what came of his Fortnite girlfriend. Maybe she was a weirdo, maybe she was real, or maybe she was a lie to sound cooler. I don't know. Part of me feels like I should have said something, but I was just way too shocked by his answer to really just form something in my head, and before I could say anything, he was already gone at that point. But even still, back in school, we had a lot of online safety classes, so either he was just really stupid, or he knew the risk and just went all in. All I know is that when I start dating, I'm sure as hell not going to Fortnite to find someone. And that's 40-something questions. Thanks to everyone who submitted a question, thanks to everyone who watched the video, and thank you if you've been supporting the channel for all these years. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and let's shoot for 10K halfway through the month. Bye-bye now.